Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name, after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right, so we're going to start on our sides, and then bottom hand is going to stack on top of the thighs, and the top hand, we're going to do some thoracic twisting. I want to make sure I say all those words before we come down. So come down into a side lying position. The bottom hand is going to hold the knees down, and the top hand's going to do the work. We're going to keep our head connected to the floor, so as we twist, we're going to turn our head as well. We're going to go 30 seconds one side, 30 seconds the other side. So come down. Bottom hand stacks on top of the knees. Top hand is going to touch the floor in front of you. Head is going to stay connected to the ground. Exhale, open up as far back as you can. Keep your head connected to the ground, but turn your head and look back towards that hand, and then bring it back in. We got 30 seconds on this side. Think of it as a nice slow warm up. We want to wake up the spine. Exhale, open up into your twist. Inhale to bring it back in. All right, when you're ready, we're flipping around to the other side. I'm going to spin myself around so I'm facing out, but you flip yourself around in any way that makes the most sense to you. Bend your knees. Bottom hand's going to stack on top of the thighs. Top hand is going to touch the floor in front of you. And then as you exhale, open up. So your head stays connected to the ground. And see if you can just use that breath to help find that movement. Exhale, open. Inhale, bring it back in. We got 30 seconds on this side. One side might feel different from the other, so don't try to force anything just to make it match the other side. Just allow your spine, your thoracic spine, and your shoulder to move in the way that feels right on this side. And time. Nicely done. Okay, come onto your back, bent knees, and now we're going to take it into some just low toe taps. So hands alongside the hips, pick up one leg, touch the foot down, pick up the other leg, touch the foot down. 30 seconds of work here. All we want to do right now is as you lift one leg and then the other, see if you can imagine that somebody's coming in for a little bit of a tickle, like they're trying to do that little Pillsbury Doughboy poke at your belly. So just a slight sense of firmness in your abdomen, and then see if you can keep and maintain that slight sense of firmness. We got 10 more seconds here. And then as you do this work here, just kind of check in. How's your back feeling? What's your energy level feeling like this morning? All right, now we're going to pick both legs up into tabletop position or a dead bug position. And now arms are going to do the work. So we're going to keep our legs up in that bent knee position. And then we're just going to circle our arms 15 seconds in one direction, and then we'll reverse and go the other way. Still want to maintain that slight sense of firmness in our center or in our belly. So just imagine that somebody's coming to poke you in the belly. So we keep that slight sense of firmness. All right, reverse directions, go the other way with those arm circles. And time. Nicely done. Okay, set your feet down and then toe heel them out just nice and wide. And now we're going to take it right into some windshield wipers. So you're going to drop your knees as far side to side as your body will allow, or as your cat will allow, because my cat's here taking up my space on my right side. So drop your knees from side to side. Arms can be in cactus or goalpost position if you want just a little bit of something in the chest. And just kind of tune in here and notice, how do your hips feel? How does your back feel? How do your legs, your feet, your ankles feel? We have some standing single leg balance work today. So if you know your balance tends to be just a little bit wobbly, you'll just position yourself near a wall, near a dresser, or just have your stick nearby might also be a nice way to go. All right, now we're going to come back through center, Prop yourself up. We're going to take it into a little bit of a crab position. So you're going to lift your butt up, and now we're going to windshield wiper here with the butt elevated. So now it's a little bit more of a strength maneuver. And then check in here. How do your wrists feel? How does your upper body feel starting to tap into that little bit of strength? And it's not extreme, and we're not even trying to go for like any stretching sensation. We're just trying to find a little bit of movement within our stability. So butt is lifted off the ground, doesn't need to be super high. And then just swish your knees a little bit side to side. Nice. And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're coming into a side position. So into a bent elbow, elbow and forearm down, side plank position. Knees are going to be bent. We're going to keep, even if typically you do that high arm position for your side plank, come down into that lower position today. We're going to brace the shoulder, pull up the ribs, lift up, lower down. First 30 seconds, we're just going up and down, but we're going to keep that shoulder nice and braced and the ribs lifted up off the ground. And then at the 30-second mark, we're going to stay up in that side plank position and hold. So keep that shoulder nice and strong. Nice job. Ten more seconds lifting up and down, actually 7 now. So check in that shoulder and just make sure it feels like you're positioned in a really great way. And then the next time you lift up, hold there and see if you can just hold it nice and steady. Breathe in and out through your nose best you can. You guys are amazing. 15 seconds left. You got this. And time. Nicely done. Lower with control. We're switching over to the other side. So you're going to spin yourself around or flip yourself around in the way that makes the most sense to you. Same thing on this side. Even if you normally go with that tall arm, if you can arrange it, come down onto the elbow and forearm, lifting up, lowering with control. Keep the shoulder brace, keep the ribs lifting away from the floor. We got 30 seconds of work here, lifting up and lowering down. Now, one side might feel stronger than the other. So notice, are there any little subtle imbalances that you notice? There's no right or wrong. All right, the next time you lift and hold it there nice and steady. Ten seconds left. You got this. And time. Nicely done. Okay, lower with control. Coming back onto our back, we're taking it into some hip bridges, but with a slightly wide configuration with the feet. Now, if you want a little more oomph, you're going to load up with hand weights. If you want a little bit more resistance, grab your theraband and place it across your hip bones, or no weights, no theraband at all. Totally up to you. Step your feet slightly wide so there's a little bit of an external rotation in the thighs, hands alongside the hips, or hold onto your hand weights. Lift your hips up, get a little squeeze in your butt, lower with control. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take this work at your pace. You guys know I like that exhale as we lift up and inhale as we lower down. And then as you're doing this work here, since we've got a slightly wide configuration with the legs and the legs are slightly externally rotated, check your knees as you come up and down. We want to maintain that nice, even, stable space. So notice if your knees have a tendency to want to like wobble in or buckle in just slightly, keep a little bit of tension on, lift up and lower, and focus on just not allowing those knees to buckle in or buckle out. Nice job. You guys look amazing. and time. Beautiful. Okay, we're gonna grab light hand weights. We're gonna go into a dead bug position. 30 seconds one leg, 30 seconds the other leg. So we're gonna start by finding that dead bug position. And then we're gonna send one leg out, other leg is gonna be held. We're gonna do a skull crusher, tap your elbows, bring it back up, press the weights up to the ceiling. Skull crush, tap your elbows, bring it back up to the ceiling. So the leg is going to stay out just slightly. And then we got 30 seconds with one leg out, and then we'll switch the leg at the 30-second mark. The entire time, we're doing that skull crusher, bend the elbows, tap your elbows down, pull them back up, press up towards the ceiling. Yes, nice work. For some of us, it's going to feel slightly better to press the low back into the ground. For some of us, it's going to feel slightly better to curl up the head, neck, and chest just a little bit to keep those abdominal muscles engaged. So find the place where your back and your belly feel the most supported. All right, when you're ready, switch your legs, and then everything else stays the same. Bend your elbows, tap them down, bring them back up, press up to the ceiling. Yes, nice job. And time. Beautiful. Okay, set your weights off to the side. Next step is going to be what I'm going to call our somatic crunches. So it's going to be an abdominal crunch. You're going to contract the abdominal muscles, but in between each crunch, you're going to come all the way back to a resting position and relax the muscles. So it's going to be slow. You won't get as many crunches in, but the work is in letting go of the contraction. So find a bent knee position, hands behind the head. You're going to exhale, crunch up, a really good, decent crunch, lower back down, and then release the abdominal muscles all the way. Crunch up, lower down, release all the way. So your elbows should relax a little bit, your ribs should relax a little bit, and then we crunch back up. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Don't go for reps. Don't go for speed. Go for that pause in between. So let the muscles completely relax and then come back into your crunch. And then as you're doing your crunches here, as you crunch up, just take a little glance at your abdominal muscles. If they look like they're doming up into a little bit of a triangle, try to pull the abdominal muscles down as you crunch up, lower with control, relax completely. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're coming up to a seated position. Grab your theraband, and it's going to be a seated row with our theraband, but also if you want just that little extra something, you'll also use your hand weights. So we're going to take our theraband, loop it around the bottom of our feet, and then grab your hand weights if you want that extra bit of load. And then we're going to choke up on that theraband just as much as we can to keep that good tension. Sit up nice and tall. Scrape your elbows across your ribs. Release out in front of you with control. If you have a tendency in this seated position to have a little bit of a rounding of the back, roll up your mat just a little bit so it gives you a little bit of extra height, a little cushion for your butt, and then away we go. So choke up on that theraband as much as you like, sit up nice and tall, elbows scrape back, and come forward with that same speed. So we come forward and back with that same pace. Keep a little bit of tension on your feet so the legs feel nice and strong and solid. And then a little tiny double tuck of the chin so our head's not pecking forward. Nice job. Fifteen seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, unloop your theraband from around your feet. Grab your toe band. We're going to stay in a seated position. We're going to take our toe band around the two big toes. And then once you've got your toe band around your two big toes, just make sure there's no little wrinkles or ripples. And then sending the legs back out in front of us. Now here you can generously bend your knees if you want to. We're going to go left big toe, right big toe. So the other four small toes can help move. So you'll position your feet in any way so that you can find the work. So we're going to think about moving the left big toe, the right big toe, the left big toe, the right big toe, but the other toes might move with. But what we want to focus on is keeping a good space of tension. So think a centimeter or two between the two big toes just to keep and hold that bit of tension. And then we move the left big toe, we move the right big toe, and everything else sits up nice and tall. Now, if you want just a little bit more work here for the upper body while that's happening down at your feet, grab your hand weights, keep a nice bent elbow position, and just hold it up there so that the upper body is nice and engaged. Yes, nice work. Focus on the toes though. If coming into that upper body work takes away from the toes, go for the toes first. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, lower your arms. Take a moment, remove that band from around your toes. And now we're going to come into a high kneel position, but we will use our toe band again. So just make sure it's handy somewhere nearby. Grab your theraband in our high kneel position. Now, if high kneel doesn't feel good to you, you could do all of this in standing if you'd prefer it. But if you want to go for that high kneel position, for some of us, it'll be good to have our legs slightly wide. So knees will be slightly out. For some of us, it'll feel comfortable to have the knees in line with the hips. So you'll play around with the position of that. Arms out in front of the chest. We're going to sit butt back to heels just as far as feels comfortable to the knees. And as you come up, squeeze your butt and pull apart on your theraband. We're going to go palms facing down for this round. So butt back to the heels, rise up, pull apart, squeeze your butt. You've got it. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace, and how far your butt goes back to your heels is really just about how far do your knees move comfortably. So we want to feel strong in our work. So butt just as far back as you feel strong, pull apart, but get a little squeeze in your butt so the whole body stays stable as you pull your arms away from each other. Nice work. 5 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to come into a knee down lunge position. Grab your hand weights, step 1 foot forward. We're going to go 30 seconds with 1 foot forward, 30 seconds with the other foot forward. As we do this little kneeling lunge, we're going to focus on putting a little bit of downward pressure into the back foot shoelaces. So think about pushing down into the shoelaces of your back foot. Load up at your shoulders. We're going to go hip hinge, lean forward, touch the ground, pull it back up to your chest, overhead press, back to the shoulders. But the whole time, the effective push down into the shoelaces is going to keep you nice and stable. So think about finding that focus. Press down into the back foot, hip hinge, come forward, load up at the chest, overhead press. You've got it. Nice job. As you push down into that back foot, the shoelaces of the back foot, you may feel the quadricep muscles of your standing leg get nice and firm, and that's what we're looking for. All right, last one here, and then when you're ready, we're going to switch our lunging position. So if you can go hands free, one knee steps down, the other knee steps up, get your 90-90 lunge set up. Now we're pushing back into that back foot again. So press down into the shoelaces, load up at the shoulders. Hip hinge, touch the ground, Bring it to the shoulders, overhead press. We got 30 seconds on this side. Same work of prize. We want to press down into the shoelaces of the back foot to stabilize. Nice job. 10 seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, set your weights off to the side. We're going to finish our work on the ground with a coordinated crawl. So opposite hand, opposite leg are going to move in coordination with each other. So right hand, left leg, and vice versa. We're going to walk ourselves forward, walk ourselves back. The focus is on that coordination. So the limbs move at the same time. And then we're just going to watch our head posture. So if your head is leaning down towards the ground, pull it back, keep a double tuck chin. Crawl yourself forward. Think of this as a slow coordinated movement. It's good for your spinal muscles. It's good for your brain. Twelve seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, we're coming up to a standing position. It's going to be a squat with a calf raise at the bottom of our squat. So grab your hand weights. We're going to load up at the shoulders, sit back into your squat, stay in that squat position, lift your heels, lower your heels, and then rise back up. We've got 1 minute on the clock. You're going to do that work at your pace. Heavy load if you got it. So load up at the shoulders. Think butt back, bend your knees, keep your chest and chin lifted. Lift your heels, lower your heels, press firm into your feet and rise up. Nicely done. And then how high your heels lift in that low squatted position, go where you feel the strongest. So if it gets a little bit wobbly, maybe you don't go for height, go for strength and control. You're already halfway there. Nice job. You guys look awesome. 10 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to stick with that load, but now we're going to go into some single leg work. So if you feel like you'd rather get the work and not have to worry about holding on to your balance, if your balance is just way off, stand near a wall, stand near a dresser, and then just do a single arm load so that you can hold on with the other hand. We're going to go single leg, and all you got to do is bend and straighten the standing leg. So we're going to stay in that loaded position. 30 seconds one leg, 30 seconds the other leg. We're not going for big, deep knee bends. We're just going for controlled knee bends. So a little bit of load and a lot of control. Nice job. All right, when you're ready, switch your feet, and then the work stays the same. A little bend in that standing leg, and then rise right back up. Nice job. And time. Awesome. Set that foot down. Okay, now we're going to grab our theraband. So just put your weight slightly off to the side. Grab your theraband. We're going to switch our grip. So we're coming back to those chest pulls. Oh, no, I said the wrong thing. We're going to keep our grip pointing down. And now we're going to add a calf raise. So we're going to go alternating chest pulls. So one arm is going to pull out, bring it back in, give a calf raise, pull to the other side, bring it back in, give a calf raise. So calf raise in between each move and alternate the direction in which you pull. How far you go with this move, go where you feel the strongest. Choke up on it as much as you can so you feel a little bit of a tug in the armpit chest muscles. That's where we're hoping to find that good action happening. Come in and out with the same pace. So go out and come in with the same amount of control, and think about keeping that same sense of firmness in your center. Nice job. Fifteen seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, lower your arms, give your shoulders a little wriggle. All right, so the next move that we're going to do, you have options here. I've tried it a couple of different ways, and I liked the theraband under my foot. It just gave me a little feedback at my feet. So if you like, I'll talk you through it and then I'll set the timer. It's going to be a deadlift, but you're going to stand on your theraband, and then you're going to pigeon the toes just slightly. So once you've got your toes pigeoned slightly, try just that deadlift maneuver. Hip hinge, come back up, and then at the top, we're going to do just a little bit of roll out into the blade edges of the feet. So you're going to roll out into the blade edges as you pick up the insteps and the toes, and then set them back down. Come back to your hip hinge, and then come back up. Now, if that feels like it's not giving you just quite enough work on the deadlift, grab your hand weights and then double up. So you get the theraband, roll out to the blade edges, roll the feet back down, hip hinge, and then come back up. So go for the work that feels the most appropriate to you. I like the work in the feet, so I just was like, I don't need necessarily that deadlift for me personally, but if you love just a good deadlift and you want that extra weight, add up that load as much as feels good, roll the feet out, and then come back in. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace and find the focus that makes the most sense to you. If building strength in the back of the body is the most appropriate thing, definitely grab those hand weights. I like to choke up on my theraband as much as I can so it kind of pulls against the blade edge of my foot as I roll out, and I get that little bit of feedback or just that tiniest little bit of resistance as I roll out and then roll back in. Yes, nice job. 25 seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, loosen up your grip on your TheraBand, step your feet out. Now we're going to grab our toe band and we're going to do toe band work in standing. So you're going to take your toe band, you're going to put it around your two big toes, get there in any way that makes the most sense, even if that means you have to sit down to put your toe band on. So come down, bend your knees, touch your toes in any way that makes the most sense. Get that toe band between your two big toes, and then we're going to step the feet out so we have about 2 centimeters of space right between those two big toes. And then we're going to go big toes lift, small toes lift, all toes down, lift your heels, lower your heels. Big toes, small toes, both heels. So go at a pace that makes the most sense to you. If it helps you, let your fingers do the work too. So you find that work, that conversation down to your feet can sometimes be a long distance call. Or if you need to look at your feet, especially go for the big toes, the small toes, and then maybe lift your gaze to do your calf raise and then come back up. Calf raise does not need to be high. Calf raise needs to be in control. Fifteen seconds left. Woo! And time. Nicely done. Okay, release your toes from that toe band and then just give your toes a little wiggle, give your calves a little shake out. And now grab your theraband. Now we're switching our palm grip. So we're going to go chest pull aparts, but now we're going to go with the palm facing up, but we're going to go 30 seconds with one leg lifted, 30 seconds with the other leg lifted. So if your balance is feeling still wobbly, notice after we did that footwork, you might feel like your balance is just a little bit more stable. So see if you can notice a little bit of a change just by doing that footwork. Palms facing up, both arms go out, both arm comes in, and then a nice slow, steady pace. Watch your wrists. So we want to keep our wrists nice and stable and a firm grip. All right, when you're ready, switch your feet, but keep those chest pulls happening. Ooh, I like those new colored bands. Woo, woo, woo. They're not easy, right? They're a little bit challenging. 3 seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, set your foot down. Give everything a little shake and a wiggle. The last move we do is just going to be nice and lovely for the spine. So we're going to step our feet out just super duper wide as feels good to you. You're going to catch hold of your elbows. We're going to take it into a fold and a dangle, and we're going to swing side to side. So I wanted to make sure I said that just in case my microphone loses you on the way down. Grab your elbows, and then we're swinging like a pendulum. You're going to let your head hang as heavy as you can. You do not need to swing extreme. If you get any sense of dizziness, right away release your grip from your elbows, let your fingers touch the ground and restabilize. But if it feels okay to do so, head hangs heavy. A little bit of a soft dangle in the spine. So we want to feel like a little sense of looseness through the back of the body. Fifteen seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, as you come back to center, let your hands touch the ground. We're going to keep that wide leg configuration, but now we're going to walk the hands forward. So the upper body is going to feel like it's going for a little bit of a down dog stretch. Arms are going to stretch out. And then once you've got your arms stretched out, push back into your butt just a little bit. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. And then slowly walk your hands back in a little bit closer. Start to toe heel your feet in to about hip width distance apart. Once you've got that hip width distance apart, we're going to do drop the butt down, lift your gaze, and then lift your sitting bones up, tuck your chin down. Drop your butt down, lift your gaze, lift your sitting bones up, and drop your head down. One more time. Drop your butt, lift your gaze, lift your sitting bones, drop your head down, pause there, take a breath. Beautiful. And then bend your knees a lot. Pull your abdominal muscles in slow as you can. Roll on up to a standing position. We're going to take one arm, bring it across the chest. Once you've got it across the chest, just gently nod your head up and down. One more gentle nod up and down. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch. Release that arm. Bring it over to the other side. Drop the shoulder down and then nod your head up and down. Nice. One more nod of the head up and down. Then we're going to do a little stretch to the foot. So release your arms, take a second to wiggle everything out. And now take one foot, toenails facing down, and you're going to push gently down into the top of the foot. So it's going to feel like a stretch to the top of the foot, shoelaces and the ankle, but nothing extreme. We just want to feel that little tender tug in the skin and then soften there and take a breath. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release that foot, switch to the other side, toenails facing down, gently press into the top of the foot just enough so you feel that starting sensation, and that should be enough. Take nice big breaths here. Cool. When you're ready, release. And now we're going to crisscross our legs. So take one foot, cross it over the other. Once you've got your legs crisscross, walk down to the depth of a fold that feels good to you, because we all might find a little sticky point where it feels like that's enough for me. So go just to the point where you feel like a good stretching sensation, and then stop there for a moment, take a breath. All right, when you're ready, come up nice and slow and controlled. Leg that's in front, that hand is going to reach up first. Take a little itty bitty side bend. And then just as you come to the edge of that side bend, lift up and out. We're going to switch to the other side. Arms going to reach up, take a side bend here. And then they're going to take that thumb, pull it back, rotate your heart, pointing up towards the ceiling, look up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. And then release nice and slow and controlled. Uncross your legs, switch to the other side. Once you've got your legs crisscrossed, walk it back down, go to the depth. And one side might be very different from the other. So don't try to force yourself to be symmetrical. Just allow this side of the body to be exactly as it is. All right, when you're ready, slowly and mindfully come back up to standing position. The leg that's in front, that hand's going to reach, take a side bend, and we're going to come just to the edge of that side bend. So lean over. And then once you've found the edge of it, lift right back up and out. And then the other hand lifts up. And here's where we'll stay. So we'll lean out, find the side bend, and then rotate just a little bit. Point your heart up towards the sky, look up towards the sky, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift up nice and slow and controlled. Uncross your legs, shrug out your shoulders. You guys are amazing. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. And we took out all the gear today, so you might need to clear your space just a little bit. Bye, Judy. Happy Friday. Glad to be back to work, right? All right, we're going to start in long spine. So put your roller down on the ground. And then once you've got it down on the ground, take your time as you start to find your way down. Tailbone on one end, slow and controlled, lower yourself down so that the spine lines up on your roller, head is supported, tailbone is supported, legs are going to walk out just to a slightly wider configuration, arms are going to open out, palms facing up, and we're just going to hang out here for about 10 cycles of breath. So get as soft and heavy here as you can. Legs should help support, and then reduce as much efforting as you can. Once you've found that reduced efforting, we're going to focus on breathing down into the bottom of the rib cage. So if it helps you find the rib cage, place your hands on your ribs just for a moment, just to give yourself a little stimulation to the ribs. And then once you feel like, okay, I know where the bottom of my ribs are, open your arms wide and then see if you can focus on breathing down into the bottom of the rib cage. All right, now we're going to keep our legs in this nice stable position. We're going to open up and close. So we're going to bring it into a little clap above our head. So arms are going to come together, palms are going to meet, and then open back out. Let the backs of your hands touch the ground. And then once you've got that, so like you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. Now can you slightly double tuck your chin as if you're trying to look to the front of your shirt. So do that little double tuck and then bring your arms in and out. Nice slow controlled maneuver here if you can. We're going to maintain that little double tuck of the chin, but now the next time the arms reach up towards the ceiling, keep a space between them like you've got a ball in front of your chest. Reach your fingertips up towards the sky, let the shoulders lift and round, and then pull the shoulder blades down and hug them around the roller. Reach your fingertips up, lift the shoulders and round, pull the shoulders down and squeeze them around the roller. Lift your fingertips, let the shoulders lift and round, Pull the shoulder blades down, squeeze around the roller, and then release into a slightly neutral position with the shoulder blades. And now we're going to open up into big, giant arm circles. So we're going to still see if we can maintain that slight double tuck of the chin, as if you're trying to look maybe at the wall in front of you. So just finding that slight double tuck so we keep a little bit of length in the back of the cervical spine. Take one more circle around in this direction, and then when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. And then notice if you lost that little double tuck of the chin, see if you can bring it back in. All right, now the next time your arms scoop out and think Y of the YMCA. So arms are going to be up and overhead in that nice Y position. And then we're going to lean over just slightly. So we're going to lean over so that the left hand is touching the ground. The right hand is maybe hovering nice and heavy in that Y position. And then once you've got the right hand hovering, you're leaned slightly to the left. Turn your head to the left, turn your head to the right. A little bit of head movement. Right hand is heavy and hovering in that Y position, and the left hand is touching down just to keep a slight sense of stability on the left-hand side since we're slightly leaned out. One more turn of the head side to side. And then we're going to come through center and then switch to the other side. So right hand's going to touch down. So you're slightly leaned over to the right, which means now your left hand might be hovering just slightly. Once you've got your left hand hovering, turn your head side to side. Only as much range of motion as feels good. Nice. One more turn of the head side to side. And then head comes back to center. We tip our body weight back through center. And now we're going to scooch ourselves up. So we're going to come up to the ridge of that occipital lobe. So we're going to find that ridge where the cervical spine meets the skull. And we're going to get that ridge of the skull onto the edge of our roller. If you get there and there's any tenderness or any zing or electric or stinging pain, you're going to come right back off and you're going to come back more to that neutral position. But if you can get the edge of your roller onto that little occipital ridge, once you're there, hands wherever feels the most stable and comfortable. And we're going to do little tiny micro nods of the head up and down. So like half a centimeter, barely any movement at all, just tiny tip of the chin down and a tiny lift up. All right, one more tiny lift up and down, and then little turns of the head side to side. Super small, think half a centimeter, barely any movement at all. Nice. One more little turn of the head side to side, and then slowly and mindfully scoot yourself back down so that your skull is on the roller, tailbone is on the roller, and then come back to that palm facing up, open wide T arms. And we're just going to stay here for 3 more cycles of breath. So back to that soft neutral position, as effortless as possible. And then see if you can come back to that breath down into the bottom of your rib cage. Super slow exhale. One more cycle of breath. Lovely. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully, we're going to roll off to one side. So take your time as you come off the side of your roller. And then we're going to move our roller around so that it's underneath the bra line or at that shoulder blade area. So once you've come off your roller, turn it sideways, bring yourself back on. And then once you've got yourself onto the roller, hands are going to come behind the head, support the head. Pick up your butt barely. So it's just going to hover a little bit, and we're going to do little micro rolls. So we're going to stay right at that shoulder blade area and just a light rock up and down. All right, and then at the top of that roll, land there for a second, set your butt down, readjust anything that you need to, and then pick your butt up again, just barely a hover of the butt, and then do little micro rolls here. All right, now the top of that roll to the bottom of the original roll. So we're just moving a little bit more in length, but not too much. Nice. Now stay at the top of that roll, set your butt down, readjust anything that you need to. And then from the top of that roll, re-pick up your butt, a little bit of a hover, move up and down. So maybe like a centimeter, it's barely any movement. One more up and down, and then we're going to come from the top of that roll to the bottom of the original roll. So adding just that little extra bit of length. Lovely. The next time you come up to the top of that roll, reset your butt down, readjust anything that you need to. And then we're picking it up, just moving up another centimeter. So moving up and down just barely. Awesome. And now we're going from the top of that roll all the way down to the bottom of the original roll, but slow as you can. Beautiful. One more up and down. And now we're going to just go big, full range of motion. So underneath the rib cage or right at the base of the ribs, all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. Slow motion, or go as slow as feels good to you here. One more big roll up and down, but as slow as you can. And then the next time you come up towards the head, we're going to release our hands from the back of the head, move that roller underneath your head like it's a pillow. And then once you've got that pillow support, hands wherever just feels the most comfortable. And we're going to roll the head from side to side. Big, generous rolls here. So think ear to the roller, ear to the roller. The next time your head turns to the right, stay there. And then we're going to draw little micro circles. So think 1 centimeter circles with the tip of your nose. And then if you're going in one particular direction, maybe reverse, go the other way. One more circle around, and then turn your head all the way over to the left. And then once you're there, draw little micro circles in the air with your nose. And then if you're going in one particular direction, reverse and go the other way. Nice. One more circle around, and then return your head to center. Pause just for a moment. Take a nice big breath. Awesome. And then we're going to gently lift our head up away from the roller, move the roller out from underneath your head, let your head rest down. We're going to pass the roller underneath the bend of our knees. So pass it underneath the bend of your knees, and then tuck it up as close to your butt leg as you can. So bring it in with a little bit of a squeeze. Let your legs drop out. So think butterfly position with the legs, but a supported butterfly. So make sure that the roller feels like it's really just, you don't have to do any effort, and you can just let your legs rest there. Hands are going to come back to the bottom of the rib cage, but now we're going to turn the head from side to side. So as you breathe in and out, let your legs be as relaxed as possible. See if you can focus that breath coming down into the bottom of the rib cage first. Take one more turn of your head side to side. And then as your head comes to center, help your inner thighs come together, or like grab the outsides of your thighs to help your legs come together. We're going to lift the butt up, roll that roller underneath your hips into a supported bridge position. And then once you've found that supported bridge position, we're going to go start with a little bit of dynamic work. So we're going to bring our right leg into figure 4, and then right at the end of it, release it and set it down, and then switch to the other side. So we're going to keep the hips elevated, alternate between the two, find your figure 4, open the leg up as much as you can, and then once you hit the edge, set it down, switch to the other side. Nice. Now, the next time your right leg comes across the left in that figure four configuration, stay there, let the knee drop out, pause for a moment, take a breath. And now we're going to wobble that figure four a little bit side to side. So nothing extreme to start. Just kind of notice where can you move here comfortably. And then we're going to try to get a little bit further over to the right with each little wobble. So not so far over to the left, but nice and far over to the right if you can start to find it. Hold on to your roller, let your hands move out of the way. Anything that gets you there to gets you just that little extra depth to roll over onto the right. The next time you come through center, hold on to the ends of your roller, pick your left leg up. So now we've got that figure four floating in the air. And now we're going to wobble it again a little bit side to side. Here, you're going to find your core muscles are going to help kick on just a little bit to help control that side to side movement. And this is more a little bit about that core strength and control rather than going into that right side hip again. All right, one more little wobble side to side in the air. And then slowly release that foot down to the ground. Take your time, step your right foot off the left, and we're going to move to the other side. Left leg is going to come across the right. Find your figure four, open up the knee, pause for a moment, take a breath. And now we're going to start with that small wobble side to side just to kind of test the water because one side might feel different from the other. So we want to see where is your range of motion here? How much control do you have? And then once you feel like, okay, I know what my body can do here, then start to drop a little bit further to the left each time you go. Nice. Now, the next time you come through center, pause there, hold on to the ends of your roller, lift that right leg up. So we're floating that figure four. And then once you're up in the air, wobble again. But here we're going for a little bit more of that core strength and control versus trying to get into the hip too much. All right, one more wobble side to side. And then you're going to set your feet down, uncross that figure four situation, pause for a moment, take a breath. And then we're going to move into alternating knee pulls. So right knee is going to pull into the chest, left leg is going to go out, but the heel is going to hover. And then we're going to switch in the air. Left knee pulls in, right leg goes out, but the heel hovers. So take your time, go between those two spaces. All right, now the next time the right knee pulls into your chest and the left leg goes long, stay there. Let the left foot touch down to the ground if you can. And then we're going to bring a little bit of a flex into the left foot. So right knee is bent. We compress the right front pocket area. We stretch or stress through the left front pocket area, but flex your left foot so toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. And then take your left arm, reach it up above your head and a little bit of yawning stretch. So inhale, push through your heel and reach through your fingertips. And then as you exhale, soften that just a little bit. And then do it again. Inhale, reach, push through the heel, reach through the fingertips. Exhale to soften. One last time. Inhale, reach and push. Exhale to soften. And then we're going to switch to the other side. Left knee is going to pull in, right leg is going to go out. Get yourself situated first. Right heel to the ground, right foot flexed, left knee in, left hip compressed. Right hand's going to stretch up and overhead. And then with the breath, inhale, reach and stretch, a big good morning yawn, and then exhale and soften. Inhale, reach and stretch. Exhale to soften. Inhale, reach and stretch. Exhale to soften. Pull both knees in towards your chest. Make sure the roller feels good underneath you. You can hold on to the roller, hands wherever feels most stable and comfortable. Keep your inner thighs together, and we're just going to take those knees and draw them in circles. Circle in one direction. When you're ready, reverse and go the other way. Nice. And then just to finish this work on the roller here like this, we're going to slowly and mindfully walk both feet all the way to the end of our mat. So we're going to feel that little bit of a back bend situation, a little stress through both front pocket areas. So heels to the ground, flex your feet, both arms stretch up and overhead. And we're going to just take one big yawning stretch here. So inhale and push through the heels, reach through your fingertips, find a little space through the front of your body. And then as you exhale, soften, bring your arms in, step your feet in, lift your hips up, move that roller out from underneath you, lower your spine nice and slow. And then once your spine touches down to the ground, pause for a moment, let everything reduce efforting, take a breath. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to sit up so that we can sit our butt up onto our roller. So take your time as you sit up and then pop that roller right underneath your bum. Once you've got the roller underneath your bum, feet nice and wide, and we're just going to start that big roll across the hips. So side of the glutes to side of the glutes. Lovely. Now, the next time you roll over to the right, stay there. We're going to lean in just a little bit further. So put your body weight a little bit more into your arm if you can. And then once you've got that slightly more leaned forward positioning, the bottom leg is going to flap just gently up and down. So we want to put as much of that body weight forward into the hip as we can stand. And then with that forward body weight, you might not get big range of motion with the knee, but just move it up and down just a little bit. All right, one more up and down with the knee and then big rolls of that hip. So you might pull your body weight back just a little bit so you have that freedom to move. Awesome. One more big roll up and down. And then when you're ready, we're rolling it over and across to the other side. So take it over to the other side, but then lean into it a little bit. So body weight is slightly forward and then the bottom knee moves up and down. It doesn't have to be a big range of motion. Just want to keep that side glute pinned against the roller and then flap the knee up and down. Awesome. One more up and down with the knee and then take it into those rolls up and down the side of the glute. Beautiful. One more big roll up and down the side of that glute. And then when you're ready, come back through center. We're going to spin it around so that we're in a tabletop position and we're going to roll out the shins. So spin yourself around in any way that makes the most sense to you. Pop your knees up and over the roller, find your tabletop position, and then we're just going to do 3 to 5 quick gentle rolls to the shins. So it doesn't need to be super fast. Pull your knees towards your elbows and then move them gently away. Just nice, slow, gentle, mindful movement. All right, now the next time the roller comes towards the ankles and the shoelaces or the tops of the feet, settle down there, bring your butt back towards your heels, see how it feels to wobble your hips just a little bit side to side. Wonderful. One more little wobble of the hips side to side. And then we're going to push ourselves back up and over so that we can move the roller out in front of us. And then we're going to come onto our thighs. So move the roller out in front of you and then come down. So we're going to go full range of motion on the thighs. So big muscle group, elbows and forearms to the ground. Toes are just going to help support and drag. Keep that slight sense of firmness in your belly, a slight sense of broadness in your shoulders. And then pull yourself forward and back, go full range of motion, as much of the tops of your thighs covered as you can get. One more up and down, and then we're going to turn slightly to the right. So we're still staying on top of the thigh muscles, but lean just slightly to the right. So you're on that top right side of the thigh muscle, and then roll yourself up and down. One more roll up and down, and then we're going to pivot slightly over to the left. So come through center and then transition just so that you're slightly off to the top left thigh, and then roll yourself up and down. Beautiful. One more roll up and down here, and then carefully, mindfully come through center. Prop yourself up into tabletop position. Once you've got yourself up into tabletop position, we're going to go palms facing down. So we're going to roll out. So think fingertips to the forearms, roll yourself out, and then bring yourself back in. Palms facing down, roll out as far as feels good, and then bring it back. And if you need to put your butt weight back into your heels just a little bit, adjust yourself so that you're not putting too much strain on the shoulders. Awesome. One more in and out, and then we're going to flip our palm rotation. So palms are going to face up towards the ceiling. So backs of the hands on. Think fingertips to the forearms. Adjust your butt back towards your heels as much as needed so that there's never any strain in the shoulders. Nice. One more in and out. We're going to keep the palms facing down rotation, but we're going to walk it in just a little bit so that we can stack right hand on top, left hand on top of the right forearm, palm facing up, make a little fist. And then once you've got a fist with the right hand, draw your fist in circles, circle in one direction. Circle the other way. Wonderful. And then we're going to switch to the other hand. So release that fist of the right hand, left forearm on, palm facing up, right hand's going to stack on top of that forearm. Make a fist with the left hand, keep that fist, draw your fist in circles, circle in one direction. Draw your fist in circles, go the other way. Wonderful. And then when you're ready, release just enough so that you can come up, right palm down on the ground. Left hand is going to do the steam rolling. We're just going to take 3 quick steam rolls to the top of the right hand. Awesome. And then once you've done 3 on the right hand, left hand on the ground, palm facing down, right hand's going to do the steam rolling. Beautiful. And then once you've done 3 steam rolls to that hand, both hands on the roller, curl your toes under. We're going to come up through a down dog situation. So lift your butt up into that upside down V, and then walk your feet towards your roller towards your feet. And we're going to quick steamroll the tops of the feet. So lift your arches just enough so your feet feel slightly engaged. And then a little bit of pressure down into the roller, roll up to the ankles, down towards the toes. Beautiful. The next time it comes up to the ankles, we're just going to gently walk it up the shins, over the kneecaps as gentle as you can. Walk it up the tops of the thighs. Walk it all the way up to the belly button line. And then once you've got it to the belly button line, bring a little drag across the abdomen. Nice. One more little drag across the abdomen. And then when you're ready, come to center, pause for a moment, close your eyes, take a breath. Just notice your body, notice your breath. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, release your foam roller. You're ready to take on the world. You guys are amazing. Be sure to drink plenty of water after doing all of that work. See, there's my small boy. He loves me so.